Jai Masters. To work on yourself, to grow, to evolve, it's very good to have a basic understanding of what's going on. We won't go into it in any detail this evening, but we now know, science knows, that all of form is energy. That's what E equals MC squared says. It's all energy. Energy coalesces, expresses, manifests as subatomic particles. Then the laws put it together and you have this. But it's really energy. So we've been through that enough. What about thoughts? What about emotions? They're also energy. But these are not things that Western physics, science understand. Not traditionally. They look at the brain and they say, oh, thoughts are the brain. They're not. Emotions are chemicals. They're not. It's certainly true that when an emotion takes place, it is joined or expresses itself in the physical plane as chemistry or as neurons passing through the brain. But that doesn't mean that's what it is. So the only proof I have to you is you. You have thoughts. You have thoughts. You can visualize things, can't you? Visualize a boat. Do you know that a psychic can see that boat? Have you ever met a psychic that was that psychic? Because they're there. There's real ones. There's a bunch of fakes. But there's people that have the ability to see your thoughts. What does it mean? It means your thought is a thing. I don't care how they can do it. A thought is a thing. It's made of energy. It's not made of the energy that makes the physical form, world. It's made of a very higher vibration rate of energy than that energy. Just the same as water moving faster is vapor. As things vibrate at different levels, they manifest in different forms. So thoughts are a very high vibration of energy, way higher than the energy that is the physical plane, and emotions are a high vibration of energy. How do we know there are emotions? We don't know there are emotions because they measure your chemical secretions when you have emotions. You know you have emotions because you're in there and you feel them. You understand that? Don't let them sell that to you. Just because they can't bring it down to the physical plane and what they see happening to the physical plane, because there's always things happening. If I drop a leaf into the water ripples. Does that make the ripples the water leaf? No. It's a reaction that happens because of a force. Well, thoughts are a force, emotions are a force, and the body is going to express that in various ways. But since science, and I don't blame them, this is what they're studying. They're studying the physical plane. It's physics. They're studying the mental plane or the emotional plane. They're studying the physical plane. So don't judge them. It's fine. But just because when you have a thought and you know you have a thought, what if they're measuring their chemicals and they say, no, you're not having an emotion right now? I am so. No, you're not. They get to tell you that. I got machines coming up to you. No, you don't feel love. No, you don't feel anger. No, you don't feel hatred. No, you don't feel sex drive. No, you don't feel these things. The machine's not picking it up. Their machines are not going to pick up the higher vibration rates of energy that they haven't learned to pick up yet. They used to not pick up infrared and alpha rays and all kinds of stuff. Now they have glasses you can put on that see heat and see all kinds of things that they didn't used to see before. Doesn't mean they weren't there. They just didn't have instruments that were sensitive enough to pick them up. Well, you know your thoughts are there. Why? Because you have an instrument sensitive enough to pick it up. What? You. Who wants to argue with me that there's thoughts going on in there? What if they tell you there aren't? Laugh and walk away. They just don't know. What's funny is it's their thoughts telling them that you're not having thoughts. Look inside. Wake up. So you know you're having thoughts. It doesn't need to be proven to you. They don't need to be brought down to the physical plane. You don't need a psychic. If I tell you visualize a boat, you don't need a psychic to tell you you're visualizing a boat. You know you're visualizing a boat. You see it there. Who sees it? Your consciousness. And that's the highest of all things, your consciousness. It sees thoughts. It experiences emotions. It receives the message from the physical plane. Consciousness is the highest vibration rate It is the cause of all vibration rates. It is the cause of all thoughts, the cause of all emotions, the cause of all form. It is the beginning and end of all things. What is? Your consciousness. Whose? Yours. Consciousness is it. I go through this in some of my books, right? How do you know? If there's form around you, then you're in a room, okay? Take the people out. Are you still there? Are you still there? Do you know the people are gone? Yeah, well then you're not the people. Take the furniture out. Do you know the furniture's gone? How do you know? Does someone have to tell you? No, you see the furniture's gone. Take the room away. Just be floating in empty space. The room disappeared. Are you aware? She says, oh, what happened to the room? You're conscious. So you're there even though form is not there. Take your emotions away. What happened to my emotion? I'm not feeling. People write me all the time. I don't feel anything in my heart. I want to feel love. How do you know you don't feel anything? Because you who knows you don't feel anything is higher than any feeling you could ever have. May I repeat that? It's higher than love. Why is it higher than love? Because love is something you experience. Who does? You do. So take the emotions away. Take the thoughts away. Oh my God, there's no thoughts. Sometimes you go deep in, I hope so, some deep in meditation. You come back and say, oh my God, I went so deep there were no thoughts. How do you know? How do you know there were no thoughts? How do you know when you go to sleep and you have dreams and you come back and you say, oh, I had this amazing dream. How do you know? Your normal being isn't there, but you're aware. Awareness is everything. Awareness is the base of all things. So if form is taken away, you know it's gone. If your thoughts stop, you know they're gone. If your emotions aren't there, you know they're gone. What if I take you away? Bah, over. Just turn off the consciousness. Now what? No, doesn't talk about. Consciousness is who you are. It is the essence, the core of your being. It's what they mean by soul. They just don't know it. It is your essence. That is what consciousness is. Okay? So, what's it made of? What are the things we're aware of? We'll talk about consciousness later. What are your thoughts made of? What is the form made of? What are your emotions made of? We know that there's an electromagnetic spectrum and that it vibrates at all kinds of wavelengths. And so when you get highest, go higher than that, and that's what your emotions are. There's the higher vibration rate of energy, and your thoughts are a higher vibration rate of energy. So what does that mean? How does that help me spiritually? If you understand you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, I don't care what thought you have, you are not that thought. You're the one that's aware of that thought. If you're in there in love, oh my God, I'm so in love, I can't. You're aware that it's saying that. You're aware that you're feeling that. If you're totally depressed, I get in big trouble for saying this, but I say it anyway, right? Nobody is depressed. Nobody has ever been depressed. They're staring at a psyche that's depressed. When you say, I'm so depressed, I can't feel any energy. How do you know? How do you know? I don't know that you don't have that. How do you know that you don't feel any energy? How do you know that your thoughts are negative? How do you know that you're having terrible thoughts about things? Because you're in there. You're conscious. So that is consciousness looking at a depressed psyche, looking at energy that's low. That's what your psyche is. It's made of energy. Every single thing is made of energy, period. Both inside and outside, except consciousness. It's the source of all energy. Consciousness is the highest thing there is. Okay? Everything emanates from consciousness. But don't worry about that. The point is, you're conscious, and there's these things in there. There are things in there, and you know they're in there because you're conscious. So there are thoughts and there are emotions. Okay. Why are your thoughts the way they are? This is yoga. This is spirituality. This is right understanding. Don't just, oh, my thoughts are terrible. What do I do? No. Why are your thoughts the way they are? Your thoughts are different than her thoughts. Her thoughts were different 5 minutes ago than they are now. Why are your thoughts the way they are? Instead of asking that question, which is a pretty deep question, you got to live with things, don't you? Why are they the way they are? You don't do that. What you do is say, how do I make them better? How do I change them? I don't want to have these thoughts. Not why are they the way they are. You have to be a scientist. Yogananda called, when you go into meditation, you're entering the laboratory of soul research. You're in there. You know what's going on in there. But The problem is, and we'll get there shortly, you can't handle it. Listen to me. You can't handle what's going on in there. So you're trying to do things outside that make it nicer, make your thoughts nicer. If you say to me, you love me and stay with me and you'll never leave me and you'll be kind and you'll take care of me, whoa, I like that. If you say to me, I used to feel that way, but I don't anymore. I feel that way about her. Ah. So you don't want that to happen, do you? So you can't handle your thoughts, so you have to go out there and manipulate everybody else in the world so that they be the way that your thoughts will be nice. Okay? The same thing with your emotions. You have to manipulate and control what's coming into you so that it generates thoughts and emotions that are nicer and easier to live with, and so it doesn't generate thoughts and emotions that you can't handle, that are caustic and disturbing and painful. That's why you're busy outside. That's why you're busy outside. Because you can't handle the inside, but you do it indirectly by trying to manipulate the outside so that when it comes in, it makes the thoughts and the emotions be more nice to live with and maybe even be nice. They can be nice, can't they? But it's not that often. And when they're nice, it's generally you think it's something you did, and then you get the stress of keeping it that way. This is why there's stress. This is why there's anxiety. Again, I said there's no depression. There's no stress. You're sitting on a planet, spinning around the middle of black, dark, empty space. It's been here for 4.5 billion years. You can't handle 80, 90, 100 years? If somebody says to you, what'd you do today? The answer is a 360 on your axis. What'd you do this year? A big 360 around a star. That's all you did. There's nothing else happening. You can't sit here for 80, 90 chucks around the sun and have a good old time and be all stressed out with anxiety and fears and jealousy. That's ridiculous, isn't it? There's nothing happening. But the key is you're not okay inside. What's not okay? The energy inside of you. Your consciousness is, let's get it right, your awareness, your consciousness is not comfortable with the energy things that are happening inside of you. I don't want to call them thoughts and emotions. They're energy. If you want to sit there and go look at the waves out on off a coast and give them names, there's Charlie, there's Fred, you can do that. Give your emotions names. Jealousy, fear, anxiety. It's energy. It's different vibration rates of energy, and your thoughts are the same thing. They're just energy expressing itself with certain vibrations, and you can't handle them. Some of them you can handle, but some of them you can't. And that's what this is all about. What's to this? Life. That's what life is all about. You were born and you're going to die. And you were born onto a little tiny planet. I told you, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. And there are 300 billion stars in your galaxy. And there are 2 trillion galaxies. And you can't handle life for a few years? So the question is, why? Why? Because you're in there, you're conscious, and the energy vibrations going on inside of you are not all that comfortable. And you know they can be very uncomfortable, don't you? And you don't want them to be. And you know sometimes they're really comfortable, and you want them to be. And so you are stressed and anxious and scared and every one of those things. Why? Because it might be a way I don't want it. I don't know if I can trust you when you say you love me. But we've been together for 30 years. I don't care. It can change. Sally got divorced. Hope you're having fun yet, because you're not. It's because you can't handle what's going on inside of you that you are all stressed out about what I need to do to make the outside not be scary, to make the outside be the way I want it to be and never be the way I don't want it to be. That's the cause of all stress, all anxiety, all psychological problems, all difficulties in life. It's all messy in there, isn't it? There's not all that much fun in there. Sometimes it is, but not that often. And you consider it a success in life if it's not too bad. I used to do an experiment back in the 70s when I first woke up, right? I'd walk around and ask people, how you doing? And keep track. How you doing? I'm okay. Well, that doesn't sound very interesting. How you doing? I'll get by. How you doing? It's been worse. That's what people answer, how you doing? And I learned to say, I'm ecstatic. Nobody says that. Right? They look at you like you're weird. What's wrong with you? You don't get to be ecstatic? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay? So people are not doing well in there. Do I need to convince you of that? People are not doing well in there. Why? And why is it the way it is in there? And you're not going to fix it. I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you something. I tell you, no Santa Claus. You're not going to fix it by manipulating the outside. It is true, you can get the outside certain ways that it's more comfortable inside. The outside does come in and affect the inside. It affects your thoughts and emotions. Have you noticed? Anyone notice? I bet you do notice that, don't you? But the fact is that if you have to make the moments outside be the way you need them to be, that's anxiety, that's stress, that's struggle. I've told you, I can't help myself from repeating it. Where did the outside come from? Do you really believe you create the outside? Do you really believe that? I know they tell you that. Do you really believe that physics does not determine the moment in front of you? Physics, chemistry, psychology, history. The moment in front of you is the coalescence of all the forces that made it be that way. Is it not true? The moment in front of you, every moment, is the result of the forces that caused it to be that way. Then it has nothing to do with you. You didn't cause it to be that way. There's 1,000,000 forces from the beginning of time that coalesce together for this moment to be the way it is. And you're saying that I can only be okay if every moment in front of me is the way I want it to be. Good luck. No wonder it doesn't work. No one has ever done such a thing. They can't. It won't be that way. You can't control everything that ever was, or just sit there and say, no, I'm more important than the natural forces that cause things to be the way they are. It is not supposed to rain on my birthday. Why? Because it's my birthday. Well, something's wrong with you. Okay? And you do that with everything. You should not have said what you said to me. You want to bet? You want to bet if you took every single event that ever happened in his life, in everything around him, in his sister, and you put it all together into a supercomputer, AI, okay, and you put it together, he's going to say what he said. What he said, what came out of his mouth at that moment was the result of all the forces that made it be that way and made him say that. And you're going to say, no, you should not have said that. Well, guess what? You're wrong. Doesn't mean it's nice, doesn't mean it's just, doesn't mean it's fair. Science, right? Hurricanes aren't, nothing is, all right? It's the natural result of all the things that ever were unfolding in front of you every single moment. The question is, can you handle that? And the answer is, of course not. Why? Because I'm trying to make the moment in front of me be the way I need it to be so that I be okay inside. There, I rest my case. I'm a lawyer. Try to fight that. So you're not okay. You decide what it is will make you be okay, and then you expect the moment outside to be that way. It's not going to be, but you can fight with it and struggle with it and try to plan and manipulate, and that's stress and anxiety. And you have a nice life? No, not quite. Okay? So you wake up and you get deep. You realize, wait a minute. Nothing's going on inside of me but energy. It's just energy. Energy manifesting in different ways. Why is it manifesting the way it does? And once I figure that out, why does the outside world affect it the way it does? I'm the only one in here. They're my thoughts. They're not yours. They're my emotions. Why can't they just be nice? How come the outside coming in affects my thoughts and emotions? It's a legitimate question. But we're not deep enough. Buddhists say work at the root. We don't work at the root. We stay out here at the surface trying to fix stuff. So if all of a sudden I like the lake still, and there's ripples in the lake, well, what do I do about that? Iron them out, jump in and try to make the... No, what's causing the ripples? Not how do I stow. Can I repeat that? That's spirituality. What's causing the ripples? Not how do I get rid of them. That's what the Buddhists mean by work at the root. There's a reason, there's physics, there's reality that causes things to be the way they are. So now we're down to the real question of spiritual growth. I'm in here. There's energy in here. Yoga calls it energy. There's energy in here in the form of thoughts and emotions. And the outside world affects those. And the whole interface is really complicated and very scary and hard to deal with. Okay? And especially since no one taught you that you're in charge of the energy inside. It's your energy. It's nobody else's. It's not mommy's, daddy's. It's not what happened to you when you were 5 years old. It's your energy. You're in there. That's your house. And if it's not doing well in there, you have some work to do. And if the outside can make it not do well in there or make it do well in there, and you're all addicted to manipulating the outside, which you'll never win, no one ever did, that's why life is tough. Life is not tough. What's tough is what we're doing. All right. So the question becomes, what do I do with this energy in here? And I want to call it energy. I don't want to call it thoughts and emotions. What do I do with this energy in here? First of all, why is it the way it is? Believe it or not, that is not hard to answer. Wow. Why? The energy in there is actually very beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's filled with love and joy and enthusiasm and passion, and oh my God, there's just this constant, beautiful flow of energy flowing inside of you, inside of every single one of you, and that's what's meant to be, and that's how it can be, and it can be so high that it's not affected by the outside. Somebody walks up to you and says, I hate you. You're the ugliest person I ever met. Thanks. I love you to pieces. I want to marry you. See you later. You're just filled with joy and beauty. You can do it. You can express it. I want to make sure we get this down. Don't be afraid of getting in that state. Some people write me, I don't want to be filled with love and bliss and ecstasy inside, because then I won't do anything. That's not true. Love, bliss, ecstasy, inspiration want to express themselves. How would you like to be madly in love with somebody and never see them? You want to express your love. You want to express your inspiration. You want to express the joy that's happening inside of you. So don't be afraid of getting into a beautiful state. It doesn't mean you will not interact with the world. It means you won't interact in the world to make it be the way you want. I'll repeat that. You will never interact with the world to make it be the way you need it to be, because you don't need it to be anyway. You're fine, you're whole, you're complete inside, you're in a state of complete ecstasy. Now express it. You're now bringing something beautiful into the world instead of being just another taker, another fighter, another manipulator, which is what wars and everything's all about. Because we all want it different, don't we? Okay? So how do you get it that way? Why is it not that way? If I sit there and tell you, it is that way. You're a beautiful, beautiful high being of pure light and pure Shakti and pure inspiration and love. Well, why don't I feel that? Okay, let's see how complicated that is. It's not complicated at all. Why? You've had situations in your life that when they come in are not comfortable to you. They're scary. They're painful. What do you do with those? Because every one of you do the same thing. I push them away. I do not want to feel them. I do not want them going on. And I have will inside. I have hands inside, don't I? And I can push it away. No, I don't want to feel this. I don't want it to have happened. But it did happen. Too bad. It happened out there. It doesn't have to happen in here. And you get to all the psychology. Denial, repression, suppression, resistance, rationalization, whatever you want to do. In other words, I can't handle this. I don't like that it came in here, so I need to do something about it. And so what I'm going to do is push it away. What do you think happens when you push it away? Where do you think it goes? That's why I try to teach you everything is energy. So that's energy that came in. You can feel it. The outside emanated vibrations, energy. The outside didn't come in. The girl didn't come in. The boy didn't come in. But the event came in, didn't it? It came in as energy. It came in through your senses. You're experiencing it. You ought to understand that. You're not experiencing the actual event. The event stays outside. But the experience of it comes inside. And you experience the experience. But you don't want to experience the experience. So you push it away. That's why it is the way it is inside. If you store every single thing that ever bothered you in your entire life inside of you, you're going to be disturbed. You're storing it inside of you. It's energy. It came in. You used your will to resist it. And then it forms a cycle. Energy can't sit still. It has to move. Well, how can energy move and stand in the same place? It goes in a circle. So that's what happens to the energy that came in. You resisted it. It cycles around your resistance. It's called a samskara. Yogi calls that a samskara. Freud called it suppression. Call whatever you want. It's in there, isn't it? No, that's not true, Mickey. I don't have those in there. You want to bet? You want to bet they get hit? You want to bet you dream about them? You want to bet you see a poster out there, all of a sudden you're thinking about it? Can you feel the pain that was from before? Yes or no? That's because you stored it. It's not natural. What's natural is it happened and you experienced it. No, we were not taught that, are we? Nothing's supposed to be painful. Nothing's supposed to hurt. Everything's supposed to be nice. Well, what happens when it's not? Push it away. And then what does it do? It makes a mess, doesn't it? You study Freud, study everybody. You put that stuff inside of you. Wait till you see, man, it expresses itself in weird ways, doesn't it? And it does come back up, doesn't it? That proves that you stored it. And it comes back up with the same pain. You can literally have an experience. Walk into a kitchen where somebody's cooking something. Smell it. And all of a sudden, mommy comes back up in the kitchen, the time when you were young, and you either are happy because you like mommy or really depressed because you didn't like mommy. Everything comes back up because you stored it in there. That's the essence. So it didn't take me very long. I'd have to write philosophy and psychology books. I asked you, why is it the way it is in there? Because of that. If you did not store that in there, there's this flow of energy pouring inside of you, feeding you all the time. But you put the garbage on top of it. If there's a nice stream of water, clean riverbed, and it's flowing, whoa, it's just pure, it's fast. Put a rock in, one rock, you have eddies, currents. Now put a bunch of them. Now you have rapids and all kinds of disturbance, downstream, upstream, everywhere. Now put a lot in there, then no water goes downstream. That's what's going on in there. Every single one of those things you resisted throughout your life is a rock stuck in your energy flow, causing disturbances, causing emotions, causing all that kind of stuff. Someday when you go deep enough, you know what an emotion is? One of those wavelets, because the energy flow hits your blockage and is shot out as a disturbance, and that's what an emotion is. What's love? When it makes it through. The rare situations where it literally blows you away, it made it through your blockages, and you felt beautiful, didn't you? You felt all this beautiful energy rushing up inside until he or she said something you didn't like. Now it stopped. How fast can it stop? God, I love you so much. You're the beginning and the meaning of my entire life. I can't live without you. Yeah, I love you too. Uh-oh. I said I love you. No. Isn't that funny? It doesn't take much to hit the blockages, does it? Okay? So you wake up and you realize they asked you the question. There's all energy in there. Why is it the way it is? I just told you. It's that way because you stored that stuff. And that stuff, everything you stored in there, blocked the energy. Well, what about memory? Has nothing to do with memory. Just like a computer has memory, when events come in, they pass through your brilliant mind. You have a brilliant mind. It passes through your mind, and it stores it, and you bring it back. Not always perfectly, all right? But basically, you bring it back. That has nothing to do with what I said about a samskara. That's when you blocked it from coming in. You didn't let it pass through the system properly. They say in hypnosis, if somebody hypnotizes you, you can remember the white lines from 3 years ago. I don't know that it's true, but they say that. Okay? There's a phenomenal amount of storage you have in there. That has nothing to do with when you block the energy. Therefore, the whole emotions and thoughts, the whole pattern involved, that's stored inside of you, like a rock in the energy flow. So they're totally different things, memories and samskaras. I make that point very strongly in Living Untethered. Do you understand the difference? Memory is just a storage of vibrations, fine. But when you block it, it blocks your energy flow. It stays in there. It comes back up at inopportune times. It's like it haunts you. Your past haunts you. Memory doesn't haunt you. Only the stuff you stored in there that caused the blockage haunts you. So the reason your thoughts and your emotions are the way they are, why your energy is like that in there, is because you stored these things from your past. And your past includes 10 seconds ago when somebody said something. You couldn't handle reality. Therefore, you blocked it and stored it in there. So now it's a mess in there. And I guarantee you, the things that make you feel better are the things that stimulate what made you feel good before. You watched a movie about Hawaii when you were little. Now someone says, would you like to go to Hawaii? You get so excited. But you didn't watch the movie, but you read the paper when they were having floods and hurricanes and fires and volcanoes going off. You want to go to Hawaii? You go, okay? Some of your learned experiences, especially the ones you didn't like that you stored in there. So basically, that's why it is the way it is in there. You have messed up your energy flow by throwing things in there, by throwing garbage in there, and now your energy brings it up. And what do you do when it comes up? You push it back down. I want to talk about that. Because I always talk about your potential, but I always get, the books do, but I always get into how do you get rid of this stuff first. Now you understand. I'm telling you, that's why your energy is the way it is. You know that all the time. If something happens that opens you, you feel energy. If something happens that closes you, you don't feel energy. What is that opening and closing? It is the energy making it past your blockages and the energy not making it past your blockages. What is depression? You're so blocked that the energy doesn't make it through at all. And it seems like it never will. You start having suicidal thoughts and all kinds. It just explains everything. But when you open, you feel love, you feel inspiration, you feel joy. But the situations have to be exactly the way you want, based on all your samskaras, for you to open. You get a job. You're all excited about your new job. They told you what you're going to be doing. It's everything you always wanted to do since you were little. You're so excited. Then you go to work. They say, no, we gave that job to him. You're going to do this. Where's your enthusiasm? Where's your excitement? Same job. You're doing that. You stored all this in here. What do I want from you? I don't want you to find what makes you passionate. I want you to be passionate about everything. I'm very greedy for you. I want you to be passionate about every single thing in your entire life. To be inspired, to be turned on. I can't wait to do it. Can't wait to go to work. Can't wait to come home. Can't wait to do this job. Oh, I get to do the other one. I can't wait to do the other job. I'm just excited as could be to do everything. That's a nice life, isn't it? And you will be very successful at whatever you do, all right? Because you're bringing such beautiful energy into the situation. But you can't do that. Why? Because you store all this garbage inside of you. So, let's just make sure we have time left, because we do. Can I get rid of it? I don't know what they tell you, but I guarantee you there's not one single thing in there that has to be in there. Not one single thing in there that has to be in there. But what about if they tell you your neural pathways are carved that way now? They're carved that way because you channeled the energy that way from deep inside. So yes, they're going to adjust. Your body's going to adjust. Everything's going to adjust. It's true that the stuff stores in your body also, because you're pushing it down from your mind, from your emotions, and it gets all blocked up in your energy. That's what the whole acupuncture system is, the meridians. It's blocked energy. If you let go of it up here, it cleanses down there. People do all kinds of work inside to heal the outside. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be something physiologically wrong. I'm not talking about that, right? There can be brain damage. There can be different things. There can be broken arms. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your energy system. So, basically, it's a mess. Why? Because you made it a mess. Does it have to be a mess? No, no, no. Can I let go of all this stuff? Yes, yes, yes. Is it easy? No, no, no. Right? But it's the whole meaning of life. It's making your life beautiful. It's. I want it to be that every single day, you wake up in the morning, you go through the day, and when you get up the next morning, you're a higher person that woke up yesterday morning. Every single day. Every single day there's more love. Every single day there's more openness. Every single day there's more passion. Just little by little. How? Get rid of that stuff. How? Okay. First, you have to want to. You have to stop saying, oh, but my first husband was so mean to me and it was terrible. We had such a bad relationship and he even got violent in the end. Well, when did you get divorced? 32 years ago? Where's he? Dead? Why is it still going on inside of you? I don't understand. Can I ask that question? Why is it going on inside of you? Why would you want to keep that inside of you? I thought you got divorced. You didn't really get divorced, not inside. The argument's still going on, the problem's still going on, the trauma's still there. Does it have to be? Of course not. You can get rid of it, and it's the meaning of your life. That's why you're here. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. What does it mean to evolve? To be able to handle reality. Just like Darwin said, survival of the fittest, adaptability. Now it's inside, not outside. Can you handle reality? What's reality? That which already happened. That's how I define reality. I don't have a whole discussion about it. If it happened, it's reality. If it didn't happen, it's not reality. If it didn't happen, it's your thoughts. If it happened, there it is. It's reality. Can you handle it? No. Can you learn to handle it? Yes. What happens if you learn to handle it? You don't have to store it. You don't store the white lines in the road. You don't store every single thing that ever happened to you. You just stored the things that didn't feel good. And you push them away. So it's all about learning to handle reality and cleansing what you stored in there because you weren't able to handle reality. That's what spiritual growth is. So how do you do that? Instead of inspiring you, the most important part is to be inspired to do it. If you're not inspired to do it, you're not going to do it. If you understand, this is better than getting married, this is better than having children, this is better than every single thing there is. Why? Because every reason I'm doing everything is to try and feel good, to try and feel high, to finally feel inspired, to feel, I can't wait to get up, I can't wait to do everything all the time. That's why you live. So this is the answer. So how do you do it? So let's go. We don't have much time left, but it doesn't take much. I can tell you how to do it, right? Yeah, I can't tell you to do it. If I can tell you how to do it, okay? Here's how you do it. Here's a formula. It's a very secret. We have to have it. Shh. You can't tell anybody, okay? It's a private thing, right? Go out into the day. You do it every single day. And the day is going to hit your stuff. Have you noticed? You're going to feel a little anxious about this. You feel a little uncomfortable on this person. You feel, why? Because something happened. Either they remind you of something from your past or they did something before. Things are going to hit your stuff. How about if you use those words? Does stuff hit your stuff? Right? Can your thoughts hit your stuff? Even if things happening, can you think a thought and make it hit your stuff and feel uncomfortable? Okay, that's the battlefield. That's your work. Your work is to go out into the day and say, come and get it. You know that expression, you want a piece of me? Now you really mean it. Take it. I don't want it. It's ruining my life. You want a piece of me? That's a whole different attitude, as opposed to making sure that everything's exactly the way you want it to be so it doesn't hit your stuff, which is what you're doing. You just sit there and say, I don't want to have stuff. I don't want to have stuff. So I go out into the world, and I'm open to letting things unfold, and I'm conscious. That's the whole point of witness consciousness. I'm in here. Remember I said to you, do you notice you have thoughts? You're right, you notice you have thoughts, especially the bad ones. So all of a sudden you go into the world, and it's going to take you about, I don't know, half of a second before something hits your stuff. Okay? Where's my car? Oh, it's where I left it. Even that little moment. You got any of those? All right? Work with it. Work with it. I beg you to work with the simple things. Don't you dare touch the big things, because you don't stand a chance. You have to practice. You have to practice letting go. You have to practice that if the stuff comes up, can you relax through it? It's all about relaxing. Why? When you tense, you resist. The only reason you tense is because you're resisting. So if you go there and it looks like it's going to rain today, and you wanted to go play or do something, you go hiking, and you walk out there and you see the clouds, I'm telling you it bothers you. I don't need to tell you, you know it. It bothers you, you get disappointed, you feel upset, you feel concerned. Because you saw a cloud? Or because it's hot? You're not even outside. The weather forecast, 97 degrees in Gainesville today. Oh, I don't want to go outside. There you go. You're letting yourself get disturbed all the time. And you're wondering why you're disturbed. You have to practice not being disturbed, as opposed to practicing don't have things happen outside that disturb you. I can't say that enough times. You have a choice. Try to manipulate, go on, move to up north. It's not about getting the outside so it doesn't disturb you. It's about not getting disturbed by the outside. That's your inner work, as opposed to trying to manipulate every single moment so it doesn't hit the garbage you stored in there. Good luck. You don't stand a chance. But you have the right to work with yourself in here. This is your kingdom. Nobody else is in there. So if you walk out and you open the door and it looks like it's going to rain, and you see her get upset, boy, that's cheap. You're not going to change it anyways. I dare you to look at that and say, nah, not this time. I'm going to handle the fact that it's cloudy when I don't want it to be. I'm going to handle the fact that it's hot out when it's hot out. Just start to work with yourself. How? All right, let's get that down. Relax. First thing is relax, because you're going to see you're not relaxed. When you tense, you're not relaxed. When you resist, you're not relaxed. Now, I'm going to go real deep. The first thing you're going to say is, it won't relax. I tried to relax it, Vicky. I looked at that uptightness. I tried to relax it. It's not going to relax. You relax. It doesn't relax. Disappointment doesn't relax. Anger doesn't relax. Fear doesn't relax. Dislike doesn't relax. Everything has its nature. So when you look outside, it's cloudy and you feel this preference and disturbance, don't try to make the disturbance relax. You relax. You who's experiencing disturbance, you relax, giving room for the disturbance to pass through. Don't expect the disturbance to relax. Don't sit there and say, I can't handle the outside, but I'll try to make, when it comes in, I'll make it not be disturbed. Have fun. You got a lot of work to do. How about I can handle the disturbance and relax through disturbance, giving it room to release. Now I can do that all the time. Does anybody understand the difference I'm telling you? You can't make the outside not be the way that's going to disturb when it comes in. No one can control the outside like that. 99.9% of you can't control. So don't do that. That just creates tension. And you can't, although they teach you to, but I don't, that when it comes in, it creates disturbance. Make it not create disturbance. You can be very busy. If it would have created disturbance outside, it's going to create disturbance inside. That's not the place you want to work. You don't work on controlling the outside, although you do all the time, because it's not going to work and it creates tension. And you don't sit there and say, when it comes in, I don't want it to create disturbance. How do I do that? By suppressing it. I do it by manipulating it. I do it by rationalizing, controlling it. The highest state is, it is disturbing for whatever reason. It's disturbing outside. It comes in and it disturbs the inside. Can you handle that? Ooh, I feel like crying. Can you handle that it felt disturbed? Can you relax and say, I don't mind that it feels disturbed. I don't mind. I'm playing volleyball and I blocked the block. I got a little black and blue on my hand. No, you play through it, man. You can handle it, can't you? If you're that much of a baby, you can't play sports, you can't go outside, you can't do anything. Handle it. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm telling you, that's what it takes. That's spiritual growth. So don't do it with big things, though. You won't be able to. Do it with the fact that it's hot out. Do it with the fact that it looks like it's going to rain when you don't want it to. Just take little tiny things and say, I see this is disturbing a part of me. But it's not disturbing me. I'm the one who notices that it's disturbing a part of me. So what can I do? I can relax. I can relax. And what will happen? It will pass. All of it at once? Not necessarily, but who cares? Some of it will pass. You'll look at it and you'll see it looks like it's going to rain and you're disappointed, and instead of getting upset or trying to figure out what to do, just relax. That's what you do. That's the answer. What should I do if this disturbs me? Relax. It's always the answer. Isn't it nice to have one answer? First thing you do if it's disturbing is you relax. And you're going to find out that you're able to do that with the little things. Then you're going to find out that something else happens that's similar to look like rain you don't want it to. And it won't disturb you as much because you'll learn to handle it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why you're here. That's called spiritual evolution. I sometimes talk about the evolution of the soul. And people say, I thought the soul was God. It is, but it's God staring at disturbance. It's like the lost soul. It's not being consciousness expansive. It's focusing its consciousness on disturbance because it's distracted by it. So spiritual evolution is to evolve to where you're distracted by less things, you're able to handle more things, and now all of a sudden you're naturally sitting in a higher state and you don't get pulled down. You don't have to struggle to go there. Now you've handled the things inside or outside that cause disturbance. You let them go, and all of a sudden you're not disturbed. That's how you get high. That's what it is. So what else can I do besides relax? Because it's energy. I don't always teach you this. I'm a yogi, but I don't teach you that kind of yoga. Other people do, and it's wonderful, right? Because it's energy, you have the ability to what's called transmute the energy. It's inside. You feel it getting disturbed. Breathe it up. That's why pranayama, all that stuff is taught to you in yoga. Because it's not working with your breath. It's the fact that your breath is tied to your energy flow. So breathe it up. Here, it starts to get a little disturbed. Bring it up. Bring it up. Just breathe it up. Just make believe you have a bucket that goes down there, gets the disturbance, energy. It's energy. It gets the energy and brings it up. Ramadas used to teach, put the bucket down, fill the bucket, then breathe it up, then pour it. Pour it out. Bring it up all the time. Bring the energy up. Just bring the energy up. It works. You can see it works. Well, what do I do if it's not bad energy? It's improper good energy. And you know what I mean. Inappropriate good energy. Okay? Ever had any of that? Don't look at me and blush. In other words, the energy can do anything. And it comes up and it starts going out in a way that just ain't going to work out. Okay? What do? Breathe it up. Breathe it up. I dare you. But it feels good going out. Yeah, I know. But wait till you see the trouble it causes. But that's your choice. That's not me to say what you should do or shouldn't do. But you're in there, and if you see something's not going to really work out for where you want to go in the long run, breathe it up. You start feeling it starts to go out. Breathe. It's energy. It's like I said all this time telling you, it's just energy, guys. It's not thoughts, it's not emotions, it's not drives, it's not fear. It's energy. All that names you gave to the energy, all right? It's just energy. You have the right to work with it. And that's what yoga is, working with the energy. So breathe it up, let go. Breathe it up, let go. Someone wants to ask Ramakrishna, an enlightened being, does an enlightened master ever feel anger? And he said, yes. But it's like riding on water. What difference does it make if you ride on water? No one's going to read it. In other words, it comes in and it just goes out. Passes right through. Leaves no impression. Leaves no samskaras. Needs nothing. It just, woo, passes through. I told you once, it's really 99, but I be conservative, 95% of every experience that ever came into you passed right through. The white lines on the road, the trees you drove by, the people you don't know, the cars. You understand that? It's all just passing through, isn't it? You're not experiencing it. It's just passing through. You don't have any blockages about it. But that little 0.1%, it's a booger, isn't it? You got that stuff. That car that drove by that looks like your boyfriend with somebody else. You want to forget about that one. Of course it wasn't. Do you hear me? You do it all the time. You're letting that tiny little percent that got stuck in there run your life. Breathe it up. Relax. Breathe it up. Those are two things I gave you to do. You in there, notice it. Don't deny it. Notice it. Oh, that's a mess. Do I want it in there? No. Relax. I have to relax. So it has room. You're giving it room to pass. And you can breathe it up. You can breathe it up. All right? It's called transmutation. So, I said to you, it's all energy. Then I said the energy in there isn't always really nice, is it? And then I asked you, why is it the way it is? Now, do you understand why it is the way it is? Do you understand why it is the way it is? You store stuff down there, you store disturbance down there, it's going to be disturbed. What do you do about it? You think the way to do about it is to manipulate the world so it doesn't ever disturb you. I have a definition of compassion that I look at with Webster. Webster doesn't see it that way. To me, sympathy is as follows. I know what you're feeling. I feel that also. I can totally relate and I feel sorry for you. That's sympathy. Compassion is, I used to be that way too. I used to block my energy and have things disturb me. Now I realize I can let them go. I don't have to have them disturb me. So I look at you who's still having disturbance. I feel compassion. I understand you don't need to be experiencing that. You can handle things. So I see a big difference in sympathy and compassion. Compassion is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because you know they don't have to feel it because you rose above it. You're above it, all right? I want you to be above it. But then you come down into the world with compassion and you help others. And when you're filled with good energy, you don't not do anything. You can't wait to express the energy. You express it. How do I express it? Moments are unfolding in front of you. You give yourself to it. Life is not hard. The moments are unfolding in front of you because they are, and you can raise them. I told you once, the highest life you can live is that every moment that passes before you is better off because it did. It's better off because it interacted with you. You raised it. You brought beauty to it. You brought love to it. You brought compassion to it. But you can't do that when you're not okay. And I want you to be okay. Do you understand now that you can be okay? And okay is not okay. Okay is ecstatic. Filled with joy, filled with love, filled with inspiration, and nothing can take it away, right? But what happens if something really big happens, and you realize, geez, I'm okay. What does it mean to be okay? What if somebody you love dies? Let's take something really big. Somebody you love, you're married for years, and you love the person, you're attached to the person and everything, and they die. But you're high. What does that mean? You don't feel anything? Of course you feel it. Of course you do. the energy flow has to change. You had it flowing with somebody else and attachments and different things. You understand that? The energy was shared, so now it has to rearrange. Are you willing to be in there, feel the pain, feel the loss, and think it's beautiful? Think it's equivalent to saying how much I loved you. The pain I feel by you not being here is my saying I love you that much. And enjoy the feeling. Enjoy what your heart can feel. At least I have a heart. At least it can feel. And then what will happen is it will come in and will purify your being. And you will have used this whole situation for your growth, to go to God. Okay? So it's not, just because I say you can handle it, doesn't mean you don't feel anything. You can handle the feelings. Do you see the difference? Boy, I hope you do. If you get that, you just got something very deep. Because they're all about, don't have it happen. Then we're about, I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. I can't handle it. What do I do? Then it's about, it's beautiful that I have feelings. I don't want to not have feelings. But what about the ones that hurt? They're beautiful too. I have to stop. I don't want to stop. In the book, I use the example of Romeo and Juliet. That was a tragedy. It was a tragedy to me. It hurts. Okay? If you went to a troupe that was playing Romeo and Juliet that was at the highest level coming through town and you went there, you'll cry your eyes out. All right? You say, oh my God. You know what you're going to do? You're going to tell every single person you know to go see it. And you'll go see it again. How come you think it's neat when you feel that until it happens to you? Enjoy everything, including the pain, including the joy, including the upliftment, every single thing that happens in your life. Let it come in and pass through. Be a being of great energy. And what will happen, it will raise you up so high you have no idea until eventually you merge. That's what Christ talked about. Ultimately, the energy goes so high that nothing brings it down. It just keeps going up. And then it just merges with the whole universe. All right. I hope it helps. But notice, it's all energy, isn't it? You're just working with energy. Jagrative.